Hi everyone, it's Miss Hakvari from the library. I just had a few things I wanted to talk with you about summer reading. We're getting down to the end of the year, but that doesn't quite mean that our work is done. So here's just a few things that I'd like you to kind of keep in mind as we go through our last few days of school. Um, Even though we are down at the end of the year, it is important to still do some reading over the summer. And the reason for that is if we don't do any work over the summer, don't do any reading, we can fall victim to something called the summer slide. And the summer slide is students actually go backwards in their learning if they don't do some reading over the summer. There's been research done about this, and what they have found is that students who don't read over the summer come back about 2 months behind where everyone else is. And you guys have worked hard this year. You've done a lot of reading and writing at school. We don't want to let that go to waste. So it's important to keep doing some reading over the summer. The good news is that any sort of reading is really helpful to us in fighting the summer slide and keeping our brains going and in keeping our reading progress. So you could read something that's really easy for you. You could read picture books to a younger brother or sister or cousin that lives with you. You could read to your kids that you babysit for. So anything like that. You could reread a favorite book that you have at home or that you love to read every so often. You might want to finish up a series that you started throughout this year. So some of you, for your lit circles, may have read Hunger Games or Maze Runner. Those sequels to those books are really wonderful too. So the summer's a great time to finish up a series that you got started. As far as getting materials to read, we need our library books back here in the next few days, but our public libraries have all kinds of great stuff that you could check out, and it's free. The other nice thing is stopping into the public library over the summer is it's a nice air-conditioned building. They have a lot of times summer programs that you can do and you can sign up for. Maybe they have game nights or movie nights. They'll sometimes even have craft projects and even free food. So make sure you stop in and see what's available at your public library. If you have access to a computer at home, you can use the Mac and Via website, and we have access to that through our school. There's all kinds of ebooks there that you can read, and a lot of them are books that we also have in our library and that you would be familiar with. So make sure you use that if you like to read things online. Our library is going to offer summer checkout for students that are interested. So you might have a book right now that you're reading that we need to check and see if you still have it or what's going on with it. But starting in next week, in the last couple weeks of school, you could check out up to 5 books and keep them all summer long and bring them back to us in the fall. So there's lots of great ways you can keep reading over the summer. Read something that's fun for you, read something from your library, check out some books from us to take home over the summer. It's also really important as you think about what you want to read over this summer that it lines up with things you're interested in. So hopefully you already know what genres and categories are interesting to you, but think about the types of things you like to do, the types of things you like to watch, and try to find a book that talks about those things too. So if you're a big sports fanatic, if you like watching sports and playing sports, probably a sports book would fit well for you. So, speaking of that, I have a few titles that I'd like to share with you that might be books you'd consider reading over the summer. The first book is called Seraphina and the Black Cloak, and this is part of our supernatural section. So, it's got some sort of mysterious, almost spooky type things going on. And so in this book, Seraphina lives at this place called the Biltmore Estate. So it's a big mansion on a lot of land, but none of the people who live there know that she exists. She and her father have lived in the basement for as long as Seraphina can remember. So she spent a lot of time kind of going through the hallways at night. She can sneak and hide. She knows all the hidden doors and secret passageways, and that's how she stays out of sight. Then one day, children at the estate start disappearing, and only Seraphina can really put the clues together. She knows that there's a mysterious man in a black cloak that has also been roaming the hallways at night, and she's actually come into contact with him. She had to just escape from him. And so she decides that the way to solve this is to join up with one of the kids who lives at this estate, and his name is Braden. And so together they're going to try to figure out what the man in the black cloak is doing and who he actually is before all the children disappear one by one. Another book that you might consider reading, especially if you're into sports, is called Top Prospect. And so this is a football book. It's the main theme of this book. And our main character, Travis Gardner, he lives to play quarterback. He's really, really good at it. He's what they call a standout. So he's way above everyone else his age as far as skills. And he's been putting everything he has into playing football. In fact, he's so good that a university head coach has already offered Travis a scholarship, even though he's just finishing up eighth grade. So all Travis really has to do is get through his high school football career, and then he's got a free college education and a football scholarship to look forward to. As Travis starts ninth grade, he has to earn a bunch of new teammates' trust and kind of has to stay out of the way of people who are looking to take him down. The fact that he has already gotten so much attention and already has this scholarship offer means that there's a lot of people who want to make him look bad. So he has to figure that out. He's under a lot of pressure, and Travis has to prove himself. And the last book I wanted to talk about is called York, the Shadow Cipher. This is part of our mystery and suspense section. And this book is really interesting because there's a lot of puzzle solving, kind of a lot of almost like a treasure hunt in a way. And so in 1798, there's this pair of twins with the last name of Morningstar, and they show up in New York. And what they want to do is actually add to the city. They see skyscrapers, all kinds of machines, trains that run sort of in the air, all running on technology that no one has even seen before. 57 years later, these twins disappear and they leave behind this puzzle all around the city of New York. And if you can solve the puzzle, the rumor is there's a treasure that waits for you. And this still has not been solved. Now, the rest of the story takes place in modern day, and Tess and Theo and their friend Jamie live in a Morningstar building. So, built by these twins who kind of started this treasure hunt. But there's a real estate developer that announces that their building has been sold and it's going to be demolished, which means the end of the puzzle and this treasure hunt. And so Tess, Theo, and Jamie want to save their home. They have to actually solve this mystery first. All right. And so I mentioned that this year's school year's books are due back on Friday, the 24th. So depending on when you're watching that, you may need to come into the library and check in with Mrs. Armentrout. If you're interested in our summer checkout, that actually starts on Tuesday, the 28th, and we'll go through the end of the school year. We would love to see as many students as possible check out some books to read over the summer, because we know it's important to keep doing a little bit of reading even while we hopefully enjoy that great summer that we have ahead of us. So we hope to see you in the library soon. If we don't see you, have a wonderful summer.